What's up, guys? Welcome to the live composing show. This is Stephen Malin at Simple Samples Audio, and I'm so glad that you are joining us here today. So today we are doing a live composing of the brand new Horror Harp version 2 as part of, for this week only, we're going to be doing the Horror Harp Composing Challenge. So for those of you who joined us last year, at the end of last year in 2020, we did a composing challenge for Chris Kalimba when that library released. And then after the end of the submission, we did a listening party. And that was a ton of fun. And a lot of you guys mentioned that you want to do more of those in the new year in 2021. So I'm really excited that we're going to be doing several of these throughout the year as we have new updates to previous products as well as new products down the line. So Horror Harp is something very near and dear to my heart. I just think it's something very unique to my story as a composer. In fact, it actually sits right behind me here. This is the Horror Harp, the original. And the Horror Harp, if you haven't experienced any of the previous versions of it, it is essentially a harp. It's a lap harp passed down from my grandmother. And when we learned the story of how in the 1920s, in the Great Depression here in America, she couldn't afford to replace the strings, so she strung it with guitar strings. And here we are 100 years later, and it is a detuned mess. It sounds absolutely horrific. And that inspired me to even my programming skills and editing and recording skills and such. It's really starting to look very, very promising. And so we have 7 different patches. We're going to talk through that in just a little bit as we actually write. But what I want to do first, as you guys pile in here, I want to take a look at a couple links, because I know today has a lot of links. Everything I'm about to talk about is in the description below here on YouTube, so take a look at those links if you haven't yet. And probably the most important to note is if you want to be a part of this composing challenge where you can enter to win a free Simple Samples library. I said that wrong. A Simple Samples audio library, and to have your track featured as part of the demos, as part of the sales page SoundCloud playlist, that deadline is February 9th. So that's only 5 days away. So if you want to take part of that, make sure that you read the details there. We're going to have the listening party next week here on the live composing show. We'll do the listening party of all of the tracks that you guys submit. We'll select 5 winners, and then those 5 winners will get their free library plus the SoundCloud playlist, exactly like we did with the Chris Kalimba library, and we'll continue to do down the line. So let's take a look at a couple web pages here, which will help us explain a few things of what all is going on here, because it's a busy day. So let's pop over here. The first thing I want to share with all of you is on simplesamplesaudio.com, there is now officially a free trial, a light version of every library on the store. This took a bit of work, but we were able to create for all current 9 libraries. We have more planned throughout the year, but each of the libraries now has a light version, which will allow you to try before you buy. So if you go to any of the landing pages on the site, for example, if I were to just pop up the Beard Blade Toolkit, right here, there's a button for try the free light version before you buy. That way you can try out a couple patches or maybe a limited range for any of those instruments. So that's going to be a really cool way for you guys that are not ready to buy something yet, or you just want some hands-on experience. Like me, I love hands-on experience before I buy something. It's just a cool way to confirm, okay, cool, this is exactly what I was hoping for, or even better than what I was hoping for. So sign me up. So make sure you check out those. That is at simplesamplesaudio.com. There's now a link at the top of the page that you can click on free trials, and that'll bring you up to that page. So I know literally hundreds of you in the last couple of days since I announced that, y'all have been downloading those, and I hope you've been enjoying those and you're ready to buy soon. So next on the list here, let's actually open up the composing challenge page for this Horror Harp contest. Let's take a look there, and that link is in the description as well. And it's, we have a countdown timer at the top if you don't know how much time we have left. 5 hours left to enter in this challenge. So let me read through some of this. So as mentioned before, we are celebrating the 2.0 version of the Horror Harp, and part of that, we're doing this composing challenge. So a couple notes here. Most importantly, as mentioned before, 1 week from today, on February 11th, is when we're doing the listening party. But the due date for the submissions is February 9th, that evening, Eastern Standard Time. That gives us a chance to get everything ready for the listening party. So please, if you're going to be a part of this, make sure you follow not a lot of guidelines, but we do have to have some guidelines here. So a couple notes here. The goal is to compose an original track of 90 seconds to 3 minutes in length. So that's 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes. Don't go over, don't go under. That's an important part of this. And the other, probably the most important part, is that every track must feature the full version of Horror Harp, or if you want to use the light version, that's totally fine. So I'll go into each of those in a sec about what's the difference. But you should also know that each of these tracks will be judged based on composition quality, production quality, and originality. I will be the one judging these as part of the live composing show next week, but just for a practical sense, because there's going to be a lot of submissions like there were with the Chris Kalimba, there's just no way I can give individual critique on every single track. But I will be, as we did last time, kind of rating these as we go and as we listen. And I want to be as fair as possible for everyone who's put their hard work into this. I would love if you would share your track online using the hashtags Horror Harp Composing Challenge, and Simple Samples Audio. Put those all over social media and let's share them. Let's get the word out. And then, of course, as mentioned before, make sure you submit by February 9th, 11:59 p.m. That way we can get that done. And each composer can submit just one track for consideration. Please don't hit me with a bunch. And there's only one form per person, so make sure you do it right the first time. But it's a short form. It literally is just your name, email, title of the track, and a link to download the track from Google Drive or Dropbox. So it should be pretty self-explanatory, I hope. So the last little item here, I want to show the difference between Horror Harp and the light version. So the full version, it is brand new. Version 2, it's actually a brand new recording. So I want to make sure that that's really clear. So those of you who have used Horror Harp before, version 1 or any of the version 1s, that was actually a Contact 6 instrument. It was my first time recording the thing and putting it into an actual commercial library. But since then, I've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys that Contact 5 is your preferred Contact. So I've actually reprogrammed and am in the process of reprogramming every single one of the Simple Samples audio libraries into Contact 5. So if there's a library that we have that you want, but you can't use it because you don't have Contact 6, your time is coming. And I gotta be honest, having used both quite a bit now, I actually prefer 5 as well. I prefer for every library to be on the same platform instead of having to pop back and forth. So there's that. Anyway, so Contact 5 is the version that we're going to be using for Horror Harp for today. And I want to pull that up here and show the differences. So this version 2 is actually a brand new recording. I completely re-recorded it. And what was really fun about this time around is I took bows, screwdrivers, metals, woods, drumsticks, all kinds of stuff to literally just beat up this poor harp and punish it. And I created some crazy sounds. And then actually took visually, I now have an actual interface where you can see the waveform as you play. And I've scripted it to where there is a normal version and a reverse version, as well as 5 really neat effects at the top, which we'll go through as we play. If you would like a full walkthrough of every single patch, what's up, guys? You can go through this recent video I popped up on YouTube, or you can go to the sales page here and check it out, where I actually go through every single sample. It takes about 16 minutes to go through them all, but if that's interesting for you, if you don't want to download it and whatever, just want to listen to them, that'd be a great and easy way to listen to all the different effects and how it all works together, because we're not going to quite do that today. I don't want to waste your time. But yep, this is the full version where we have 7 different patches: bows, knocks, metals, plucks, strums, and woods, along with those 5 different effects. And for those of you who actually don't even have Contact, this is a feature that some of you have been asking for. I've actually created a separate wave folder with all of the samples. It's not going to be exactly the same as, the programmed version of it, but for those of you who don't have Contact, that should be very helpful if you want to use your own sampler, such as EXS within Logic, or maybe in Reaper or some other program where you have your own sampler. That might be more beneficial for you to throw in those waves and create your own. So I definitely am cool with that. And I've recently, with the version 2.0 update, I've included the legacy version 1.3, which is the latest of the version 1s, and that was the original Context 6 patch. So for those of you who want the new one, but you don't want to lose some of your old work with the previous, that's there. It's the exact same interface, but it's actually just one patch. Of all of those different collections, it's just the metals, but you can do quite a bit with just the metals. Has the same effects and everything else. It does not have the waves though, and obviously it's a much smaller size. And yep, it's for full version Contact 5.8.1. So with all that said, I hope that you will go and grab it. If nothing else, grab the light version, go try it out. And if you love it, get the full version. And today what we're gonna be doing is during this 1 to 2 hours together, let's have a blast. Let's actually show how it works, but more importantly, let's write some music. So this is gonna be my entry. I love participating in these contests with you. I don't compete with you. There will still be 5 winners. And chances are you guys will write better music than me anyway, but I like to at least try it and see how I do with it. But I'm gonna be writing today a 90-second plus track using Harp 2.0. So let's jump into the interface, and then I'll be happy to field your questions. You guys are nice and active in the chat, and I want to acknowledge that. But I do want to show very quickly the interface. That way we're all on the same page here together. So the bows, I'm not going to play every single patch, but this just is me whacking it and doing crazy scrapes. What's going to be really fun here today is actually using the knobs. So if you have a MIDI controller like me, you can actually just assign different faders to different knobs here. So for example, if I wanted to learn the MIDI automation, go up and down with one of my sliders. Isn't that cool? And I'll walk through these. So the cutoff is just a low pass cutoff filter, very effective for creating something dark versus bright. And I love assigning it to a knob. That way you can do these sweeps. And that's so cool. And then the resonance knob changes it sounds like an alarm, like a whoop. It does like a sweep when the cutoff is not at 100%. So if I take the cutoff and do anything less than 100%, then the resonance knob's gonna do all of its crazy squeaky noises. Really cool stuff. And then the shimmer, which is lots of fun. The shimmer is a reverb. This is such a cool sound. Because it's a reverb, but it's a chorused reverb that then does a reverb, but then adds an octave up reverb on top of it. So it's like this scream, I guess, which I think is perfect for horror harp. When we start adjusting it, it's terrifying. Listen to this. And of course, that's going to be dependent on your cutoff. So this is why I just think it's a lot of fun to go through and to attach each of these knobs to one of your sliders, if you have them, or knobs or whatever. You can use your mod wheel, it doesn't really matter. Just pick the one you like and just go to town and play with it. So let me play with cutoff all the way up, and let's do some shimmer. Oh, it's just terrifying. Isn't that just crazy? And then the tube saturation, it adds a distortion. But at a trade-off of losing volume. So then you can use the chorus to widen the stereo field, or of course the shimmer. Any of these things in conjunction will work well together. And don't worry, I've already put a limiter on this. baked into the patch, so you don't have to worry about breaking your speakers. It's going to feel loud, but it's compressed, so it's not going to like actually peak. It just will feel loud. Isn't that crazy? It's the same patch, but because I changed the effects. Tell you what, my wife almost threw me out the window when I was recording this. She's like, shut up. Just kidding. She's super supportive. And I basically said, if it sounds like hell is erupting downstairs, I'm sorry. But I gotta say, this stuff is so much fun to play with. Yes, I get goosebumps, like Andrew said in the chat. Sorry if I broke your ears there. So you got to be careful. Like, don't turn everything up 100%, or else you're going to get some really, really unnerving sound. But I hope you guys have fun with this. And this is why I recorded it in so many different ways. Knocking it with bows. Let's pick on another one. Knocking, which is just literally me knocking on the wood. It doesn't seem like you'd get anything interesting out of that. But once you start playing with the effects, like cutoff, and then start screwing around with it. You can still create some crazy sounds. And then we have medals. Crazy stuff, right? I do want to talk about, let me get to the other two more sound effecty ones, which are strums. Oh, I love that one. It's one of my favorites. That's so cinematic. Especially with the tiny bit of shimmer, a little bit of chorus. And if it's a little bit too bright, you can turn off the cutoff. It's just so, like evil. And then woods, drumsticks and such. Just pounding the snot out of this thing. Cool. And then the Plux, I want to talk about these for a second, that I took the strings, which are super detuned. They're the wrong strings, or the wrong size, the wrong length. And when you just record them individually like this and create round robin samples, you get this. None of it makes sense. I mean, it sounds cool. And the reason I did this, it kind of sounds crazy, but what if you wanted to make your own strums? Well, play the instrument like you would anything else, and probably hold down your pedal so that the sustain is all the way up. That's what it sounds like when you actually play it. Or, for those of you who just need something a little bit more settling, this is actually one of the requests from the previous version 1. Some of you guys really wanted to actually play pitches that were not atonal, so this is for you. Now you will notice that these strings, because of the construction of the instrument, they still dip. They still have like a And they have all these creaks and stuff. It's just so wonderful. So there you go. So we have an agenda for what I'm going to write, but I just want to try to get some of these nasty effects into a real piece of music. And so as I transition here into actually writing a piece of music, I encourage you guys, go grab the light version or of course the full version and go enter. And I would love to be able to play your tracks next week as part of the listening party. So before we do that, let me read some of your questions here. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see. Well, I think I answered Chu's question about what we're doing today. But yeah, Tristan, we only got 5 days. This is a short little contest because there's another one coming up really soon as I introduce a new library in the next couple weeks here. Andrew says, was it fun working on Dark Dice? Absolutely. Do you have any specific questions about Dark Dice? In fact, most of the instruments from Simple Samples Audio have been directly inspired by my work with Dark Dice and the game that we're working on this year, Realm Weaver, same team, because so much of that soundtrack is horror-esque, and I've used the horror harp and I've just recorded it live a million times for that soundtrack, for that show, and I've also things like lute and hurdy-gurdy and what else have we done? Hammered dulcimer and a lot of these ethnic instruments have been a direct result of that series. So I think that's pretty cool. And Joe says, definitely reminiscent of Daniel Lick's scores on Dishonored, almost has a duller type vibe. Interesting. And then Chu says, any plans on sampling any wind instrument? Why, yes, there is. That is a plan. That's something happening later this year. I got to be careful not to give away too many details, but there's a lot of cool stuff coming this year. So you guys stay tuned, keep staying active and listening and participating in these contests and stuff. And I think you're going to have a fun year. If last year was any indication, because if you think about it, Simple Samples Audio is only 4 months old. That's hard to believe, but it's only 4 months old. And at the beginning, like the real beginning, the first month or so, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to try this. Started putting stuff together and art assets and all this kind of stuff. But now that, I'm at the 4 month point and I'm really working on updating previous libraries and coming out with new ones, and I can actually project out the full year in advance, it's really nice because I can actually space this stuff out for you guys. So yeah, with all that said, let's write a live track using horror harp. I have no idea what's going to come out of today, but this is going to be a lot of fun. So here we go. I feel like an effect library like this it's percussion, essentially. So this is going to help us with ambience, like a soundscape, like a pad to write things on top of. It's also going to help us with accenting important moments. So what does that mean? Well, I think the bows patch is going to be the most useful for creating the start of a track, and then the other ones might be better for accenting big hits and, moments within the track. So let me find something here that really speaks to me right now. Let me reset all the parameters, which at any point you can do by holding Control on your keyboard. Within Contact, you can just click on any knob and it will reset back to its default state. And I'm going to turn some of these down because I know that they're just loud. I'm going to attach the cutoff to my mod wheel here. And I want to add a little bit of shimmer and a little bit of chorus just so it's a nice big fat stereo sound. Oh, that's brutal. This is not for writing pleasant music, guys. Like that. So, let me actually just put that in. To me, Oh, great question. From Andrew, who says, did I work on Silent Dance on Dark Dice? Yes, I did. I think it's called Dance Silencio or something. Yeah, totally. All those creepy stuff, it comes from the horror harp. Oh, this is just terrifying. I love it. Cool. Love it. So let's keep that bow. And I want something that's like, yeah. And I want to put this, let's quantize it. And I want to have a strum here that kind of invites us in to the beginning. Ah, it's so cool. So I haven't had a chance to actually write with version 2 yet. I've used the previous versions. So this is a treat for me. Tristan asks, what is my favorite video game soundtrack ever? Ooh. It's a tough one. I think it changes every day. Today I'll say Zelda Majora's Mask. That just top of my head right there. I have a ton of favorites, but let's see if we can, let's use some of the effects on the strums. I really like that, but I'm going to turn the cutoff down, turn the shimmer up a little bit, chorus up a little bit to give a little bit more thud and less high end. Here we go. I'm also going to turn the high end. Turn down the cutoff, I should say. Let me use the proper terms here. I hear strings like I don't know what string I want to do, but man, let's find something here. Yeah, let's do Tino Guo. Sounds like a winner to me. Let me turn off all these effects. I don't like effects naturally on a sample library. I like it to start clean and then add as I want. So we do raw. Something like that. Yeah. Cool. It's a fun direction. So that's solo cello. I'm going to take this screeching. I feel like I like the sound. I feel like just from a mixing perspective, I'd like to put some stereo imaging on it. Whoops, what is happening? Go away, EQ, I don't want you. What did I just do? My gosh. I've never clicked that in my life, and all of a sudden, it like... Oh, Lord. There we go. Okay, sorry. Never clicked that button in my life in Cubase. What did I even say? Stereo imaging. So S1 from Waves is my favorite for that. I just want to take this sound and widen it quite a bit. Left and right, like this. Let me solo that. That's cool. Some tremolos. Let's keep rolling. Let's supplement with some kind of tribal drums. Let's pull from Damage. That's a good starting place. There we go. Yes, Andrew, making music is my full-time career. That beat. Cool little beat there. I like that. I want to quantize, but let's make sure it starts on the beat. We don't want a hard quantize. We want something that has a bit more of a less strict, is what I'm trying to say. So 1/16 is fine, but let's do a swing of maybe 33%. See if that gives it a little bit more musicality. Yeah. Okay, so here is my tip of the day for drums. Put an EQ on every drum you use and decide right off the top, is this going to be a low, a mid, or a high? And then remove everything else. To me, this feels like a good medium, somewhere in the middle, so mid-range. If I solo it, you'll hear it. So we're getting rid of the high end. And then to make it feel full and rich, we want to layer something else on top of it that's going to help us get that high sound. You probably already know what I'm going to do, but for those of you who watch me a lot, what do you think I'm going to grab? Take your guess. If you guessed tambourine, then you are correct. This one's a little hand tambourine called a tambo. One of my favorites. And I might record that for you later this year, alongside all the other little gadgets I tend to reach for when I'm writing music. Here we go. I'm going to put in my microphone. I always forget. I've changed around my mic inputs so much lately. This one is this guy. Cool. So this is called Tambo. Electric triangle. You guys are funny. Yeah, let's record it. Let me turn off my mic. Let me do it this way. Testing 1, 2, 3. Here we go. I have to turn the mic way down. Here we go. Wait a second. Wrong headphones. There we go. Don't use open-ended, back-ended headphones when you're recording. It'll record into the mix. Here we go. Excellent. There we go. I might just leave these headphones on. Yeah, I might just leave these headphones on for a little while. Sometimes I forget I'm wearing the other ones. These are closed back. The others are open back. And if you record with open back headphones on, it's going to pick up all the things you're hearing, which is not good. Here it is in the mix. Just that we talked about a little bit ago. Put an EQ on that. And then let's make that mostly high end. Aw, thanks so much. Appreciate that, AJR. You rock. Now we need to fill in that gap. Let's get something a little bit lower. We're going to record just the bottom. You rock. Thanks for that. Let me know if you have a VGM request. Here in a few minutes, I'll play you something. Appreciate that. But yeah, moving on. I want to use the low end of this Derabuka to get ourselves literally a low end drum to help fill in the audio frequency spectrum. So let's do that. So I'm literally just going to duplicate that track. That way all the mic settings are good. Derabuka, bottom. It's the low thuddy section. And now I've switched to this microphone. Let's record some low thuds, shall we? Excellent. Alrighty. All right, cool. So next, that I've gotten that out of my system. Any chance you can, guys, use real instruments. Can't stress that enough. I love sample instruments, and they help. They do a lot, but they're still digital at the end of the day. Use a real live microphone with a real live instrument. It just, it makes stuff sound real. Yes, AJR, let me know if there's a VGM. So let's obviously EQ it to where it's just a low thud as it was intended. Like this. With the other percussion, sounds like this. So this might actually be a perfect addition. Thanks for the recommendation. That's awesome, Tristan. You should always. I know my mic levels are in and out here because I'm recording instruments, but that's awesome, Tristan. So cool. Let's record some ocarina for real. Hold up. All right, cool. I can live with that. I can work with that. Now I actually am leaning into some Majora's Mask, now that you put it in my mind. So I would not ever use that without first, let's EQ the junk out of it alongside the percussion. Cool. And now we're going to just slap some Valhalla shimmer on it. Let's do big stereo. Maybe like 0.3. Sounds like it's like a million miles away. What a fun little sound. Thanks for the recommendation. Maybe that would be a good library later. Who knows? The ring rats come in Lord of the Rings. That's a great analogy. That's probably... What shall we do? Let's use the metals. haven't shown you guys playing backwards yet. That might be cool here, actually, to do a reverse. So if you use the key switch at the bottom of the keyboard, the orange key right there, it makes everything backwards. Whoa. That's so cool. Let's get one of these like really rowdy ones like this. Jeez. Put it in. Cool. If at any point you wanted to turn that with all the effects that you've changed into an actual audio, which I would love to do in this moment, just highlight it, whatever DAW you're in, you can use the bounce in place function. In Cubase, I just did Shift R, and then it bounces that full audio into place. This way I can mute the MIDI, and now I have this beautiful little waveform that I can actually move around wherever I want it to. So I liked how it did this crazy little rise. If, it lines up right with the beat. It's right there. So I want to make sure that when I look at it, I can see that it's lining up right with bar 19. And if I want to, I can actually just do one super long. Now that's an audio clip. Maybe just make it 2 bars long and do a fade in like that. Something like that, right? And maybe play around with the drums during this. Stay on beat. So let's grab the other instruments here and let's put them in. This sounds awful, but I feel like I'm doing like a human sacrifice, some kind of like tribal chant, shaman craziness right now. Hey, what's up? Welcome back, guys. So sorry, my microphone was off for a little bit there, but I think you got the point. I was taking a quick coffee break. But yes, Aaron, absolutely. Bring it on. What's up, class? What class do you teach? Probably a pretty fun way to introduce to your class. I hope it's like math class or something totally unrelated. But for everyone new, what's up? Welcome. This is the Live Composing Show. My name is Stephen Malin here at Simple Samples Audio, and today we're showcasing the Horror Harp, which is this lovely instrument behind me, strung with guitar strings instead of, well, harp strings. And it is 100 years old from the Great Depression, so it is an absolute relic, and it sounds like absolute terror. So today we are writing a crazy piece of music demonstrating the power of the Horror Harp. If you do not have it in your arsenal yet, go grab it. You can also grab the Horror Harp Lite version, which has one of the 7 patches that you can play around with. And if you have not yet entered your track as part of the Horror Harp Challenge, the Composition Challenge, you got 5 days left to participate. So I hope you will, because you can earn some free libraries and have your track featured as part of our SoundCloud playlist. So I hope you will do that. Welcome, Marie. Glad you can pop in here. Tristan is homeschooled doing math right now. Love it. Here we are. Let's listen to the track we have so far, because this is just bananas. It's pretty cool. And I lost my audio somewhere in there. Let's try again. How about now? Cool. I like what we got so far. Alrighty, folks. Cool. So I think we're on a great little path here. I don't know what this is right now. To me, it just sounds like a tribal ritual. That's the bent I feel. And I like that it just like wildly changes right about here. So I'm actually going to move all of these over. I think that's a cool, just crazy way to transition. It gives us 2 bars of just absolute terror. Maybe that should start here. Let's find out. This is probably totally sacrilegious and insensitive, but I'm going to do some like tribal sounds. Let's see what happens. We're going to go there. Let's try. I don't know if it's going to be good. Don't ask me that. When do I ever question if something's going to be good or not? I just got to try it, right? Just be wild. Enjoy your life. So, I will throw some effects on there so it's not completely awful. Let's start with this guy. I'll make sure I mute some things here. Testing, testing. How was that? Let's do it again. Testing, testing. This is a special piece today. You'll never tune into my show again for your math class. Let's keep going. I know how to really make this spooky. We're going to throw a fourth on top of everything. You ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. It's about to get, like, crazy. Cool. This is actually not as awful as I thought it might be. Now that we got that out of our system. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to take this monstrosity. We're going to bring back for a second little run. Because why not? Why not torture the crowd even further? Weirdest track ever. But then again, I've said that many times before. Trying to get that cello to actually line up. Here's the thing. Let me teach something if I can. Just from personal experience. That there's something about chaos that if it is controlled and it's used as an effect with something that is more measured and something that is more tuneful, I guess, more harmonic, more diatonic, that kind of thing. If you have something that is normal and then you put something crazy next to it, it actually gives it character. What we don't want is just to have chaos, because that's not interesting. That's just noise, right? So what I'm trying to do here is, yes, I've kind of created the chaos portion, but now I'm trying to measure it into something that actually makes sense as a piece of music. So that's kind of the goal from here. So what I'm going to do now is I want to add some strings. I want to add some low chuggy strings. I'll do that with, this is my favorite, go to low strings. It's going to help to give some like some energy. That's going to make the little effecty stuff actually make sense. So I'm going to do shorts. We're going to do spiccato. I love Marie. She says, if it is chaos but organized, then it is called order. Ha ha ha. Maybe. Organized chaos is a thing. It's called my household. 4 kiddos here. It's quite organized, but quite chaotic. Waiting on this thing to load. It's kind of waiting on this thing to load, waiting on the world to change. There it is. Cool. I like to do a little bit of far mics, lots of close mics, crank it up. Let's just whack it. Yeah. All right, here we go. Excellent. I like it, but we gotta find the right notes. Understand my own timing here. Is this even 4/4 anymore? Oh! The whole blasted thing is off by... I may have moved it. Hold up. I think I moved everything by 1 beat. There it is. Okay, now I see what happened. I made the boo-boo. Okay, this is supposed to live back here. Andrew, I think I agree with you. It kind of sounds like people's souls are being sucked out of them, or this is some kind of human sacrifice, and the souls of the past are like screaming while this is happening. These are not the things I think about, I promise. I hope not. This is just where the horror harp took us today. You guys know me. I just roll with the punches here. I like my little triplet thing. Dun, 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 dun. Triplet, triplet, boom. So, quick way to quantize all this is to take all the non-triplets, all the triplets, and there are less triplets than there are other notes. So, the trick here is just to hold down Shift, select all the things that are not triplets, make them 16ths, and then select just the triplets. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, that's not fair. I'm missing some data. Cool. Dun, 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 dun. Very, very good. Excellent. Vader, rise. All right, so we have to get to guys, this is what goes through my brain. All right. Aaron's never coming back to math class again. I scared poor Johnny. Sure, let's do it. Let's do it. Andrew says, try reversing my crazy vocals that are already crazy. Sure, why not? So the trick to this is like this. Bounce in place. Ooh. Let's get all kinds of crazy up in her. I don't want too much chaos though. If there's too much chaos, it loses all the magic. But I can try Vox reverse. Don't know if I've done this in whatever this is called, Cubase. This would be a first. I see that in Logic a lot. You can take the sample and reverse it somehow. Because I have no idea how to do that, let's... Maybe one of you knows how. There's got to be like a button in here that I could do it in any other program. Now I really want to know what that sounds like. Perhaps if I... No. Something like that. Is the clear Look, Mom, I made $5 on YouTube. What is my life today? So I feel like maybe this last one can be the junk, don't. That'll get us back. But otherwise, we need 4 bars of this, which I've already recorded, so that'd be easy. Just like that. That's why I love audio so much. Somehow, that's kind of perfect. Somehow my tempo has like moved itself to 113. I would never choose that. Interesting. The power of the horror harp, my friends. It does its own bidding. What's your question, Mark Musician? That, I'm not sure what you're saying. Talk back to the screen. Boom. Maybe it'll fix itself. kind of just want that like outro. None of this track makes any sense anyway, so you know. I'm gonna bounce out that one and do a long fade out. So it's kind of like the monster or the evil laughing. However, and then we'll end with a rah. Because what better way than to hit it with, I'll do one of these, I'll copy over. Make the last note. Because, you know, reason. Probably won't do a fade out. Quite so strong. There you go, folks. Weird track, but we did it. We wrote a track with Harp. Now, to kind of finalize the mix here, I want to spice it up a bit. To make it feel even more epic than it already is. Play around with some of the presets here. Kind of move it around as we need. I'm thinking probably enhance stereo image with the maximizer, put it back on modern 4, maybe like 2 dB. folks. Is it the weirdest thing I've ever written? Surprisingly not. I've done way weirder. But this is the top 5. This is a lot of fun. Hope you guys had fun with this one. I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'll post the final track on SoundCloud, and I'll link it at the top of the description for this video. But I hope this was fun, just to kind of show off what we can do with these crazy sound effects. And really, the sky's the limit. And I find myself using this most as percussion to help any kind of scary music. And as I've talked about throughout the stream, I use the horror harp already in my music. That's what made me create this sample in the first place, just to have quicker access to it, to be honest, and to really get the sounds I want out of it. So I hope this is useful for you guys. I hope you guys will have so much fun entering in the horror harp composition challenge. Remember, 5 days left, so please get your entries in. And next week, same time next week here, Thursday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing the listening party. It's probably only going to be about an hour long, so make sure that you're here right on time so we can jump into that. And if your track is chosen as one of the 5 winners, you'll win a free library from Simple Samples Audio of your choice, and you will be featured on the sales page on that SoundCloud playlist for Horror Harp. So again, you can use Horror Harp, the full version, or you can use the free light version if you would like to use that, just to kind of try before you buy. And I hope you guys have so much fun playing around with it. So that's it for today. I'll post that final track on SoundCloud so you can hear it in its true mixed glory, Raz included. So guys, have fun.